Olá, boa noite. O Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 2 de Broken Sword 2, o Espelho Nebuloso. Ontem iniciamos a aventura e por hora há pouco a acrescentar ao resumo da apresentação do jogo. A Nico recebeu uma pedra negra de origem maia e com George foi atrás do professor Ubier, especialista na cultura maia. Na casa, foram atacados e Nico acabou aprisionada por uma milícia de contrabandistas e traficantes que parece que vai torturá-la até obter a pedra ou a indicação de onde está. Sem ter com quem contar, o George apela a Lubinot, apesar de, na sua ausência, Lubinot ter se engraçado com Nico, até a presenteando com lingerie sexy. Lobinot indicou um galerista que negocia com o professor Ubier e lá na galeria George obteve uma etiqueta de carga que pode ajudar a localizar pelo menos a doca do cais em que o professor descarrega e mantém os objetos que traz. Nós paramos no impasse, parecia que não tinha nada e apesar da Bá estar certa de que tinha a ver com a etiqueta de carga, o problema, depois de muito pesquisar vários sites na internet, está numa coisa boba que geralmente não cometo. Por isso até que eu demorei para localizar onde estava a falha. Aquela mensagem de jornal que ele achou nessa mesinha de telefone, eu deixei de consultar no inventário. E aí é que estava o segredo da coisa.
It was the newspaper clipping referring to the imminent eclipse. Wrapped inside it was another small piece of paper. It was a bank statement for Ubier's account from an automatic telling machine. The last 5 withdrawals were for large amounts, and all made in Marseille. It was beginning to make sense. Ubier had organized Nico's abduction. Ubier withdrew money from Marseille. Ubier was connected with Transglobal, who shipped their goods from a warehouse in Marseille. That's how the torn Transglobal label had once read. Marseille, not Mars. It wasn't much of a lead, but it was all I had. I set off immediately to catch the evening train.
Umas horas depois,
It was almost dawn when I arrived in Marseille. I traced Condor Transglobal to a desolate dockside.
What's the big idea?
I don't know. The dog went berserk for no apparent reason.
He's trained to do that. The idea is to deter any would-be intruder.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just remember, he's a trained attack dog. A killer.
Here, boy.
It was a mean-looking guard dog.
Do you know what time it is?
No, I don't wear a watch. As my dad used to say, I'm not into time, man.
Well, you're too early.
What time is it anyhow?
The big hand's on the floor. Why aren't you in bed?
I can explain everything.
Never mind, I ain't that interested.
Does that dog belong to you?
Nah, he comes with the job. I just feed him every now and then.
More then than now, I'd say.
muito de vez em quando.
Ever heard of Condor Transglobal?
Sure. They have a warehouse here.
Well, could I take a look?
Not until after the holidays. Come back in a month.
I'm looking for a young woman.
At the docks? What kind of woman do you have in mind?
You don't understand. It's my girlfriend I'm trying to find.
Well, I ain't seen her, and you should tell her the docks ain't no place for a young lady. They're dirty and they're dangerous.
I have these very exotic panties.
Take them away, you pervert!
Ai, ai, demorou para ele começar a mostrar isso. Até saiu do inventário. A única coisa que saiu do inventário depois que ele perguntou.
What's the dog's name?
20.
It's unusual for a dog.
It's his registration number. Security dog number 20.
Does number 20 have rabies?
Nah, just a bad attitude. Like I said, he's a trained attack dog. They took him when he was a puppy and messed with his head to make him the way he is.
Agora o cachorro saiu aqui também.
What time do you open the gates?
7.
Do you mind if I hang out here till the docks open?
Please yourself, but you'll have a long wait. It's Sunday, and tomorrow is the start of the national holiday. Everything is closed for a month.
Well, wouldn't you just know it? I have to make a delivery to Condor Transglobal.
Where's your rig?
About half a mile down the road.
And you walked here? Jeez, are you some kind of nut?
Nah, it was easy. I just put one foot in front of the other. Are you gonna let me make my delivery?
Not without the paperwork. You get the papers, you make your delivery, and I get a fat backhander.
I was getting nowhere with the story about being a trucker. I'm certain my girlfriend was brought here when she was abducted.
What? Your girl was kidnapped?
Yeah. Struck down by an Indian with a poisoned dart.
A poison dart, huh?
I could tell he didn't believe me. Do you know what kind of business Condor's involved in?
I'm paid to guard the gate. Their business is none of mine.
Have you ever heard of Professor Ubier?
Me? None of my friends are professors or anything like that.
What's cooking?
Beans. You know a man can live on nothing but beans.
Not this one. Don't you ever get tired of eating beans?
Sure I do. What do you take me for?
And what's the alternative?
Peas. I can't eat them too often, though. They play hell with my digestion.
Have you ever considered changing your diet?
What's wrong with beans and beer?
You need me to tell you? You're pumping out enough methane here to fill a dirigible. This is the dart that the Indian shot at my girlfriend.
Sheesh. That's pretty weird, but I don't see why you'd expect to find her here.
Take a look at this letter.
That's sick. Did you write it?
Oh, no. No, it's a letter from my girlfriend's admirer.
If I was you, I'd smack him in the mouth.
Well, that's not my style, but thanks for the advice. I gotta go now, but I'll be back.
Can't wait.
Estou ansioso para que você volte. Se ele fosse o Guybrush Threepwood, poderia ficar 1h20 embaixo d'água pesquisando tudo. Gancho.
A short stick of wood floated near the edge of the landing stage. The stick had a hook on one end. I figured it was a boat hook, for hooking boats.
E aqui... Vocês não estão vendo porque o meu carão está em cima, né? Agora sim. Tem uma coisa boiando aqui, uma garrafa.
Bobbing up and down in the oily water was the watchman's discarded beer bottle.
Aquela cerveja que o vigia descartou. Pega.
The bottle was just out of reach. Nothing was going to get me into that water if I could help it.
E se você tivesse um gancho? Enso. Se você tivesse um gancho e daí precisasse pegar uma garrafa.
I just knew that boat hook would be useful for something. As for the bottle, even if I couldn't find a use for it, I'd cleaned up the dock a little.
Tenho que pegar as coisas que tem lá dentro. Alguma coisa pro cachorro. Mas daí tenho que fazer o cara sair de lá. Chaminé. Entupir a chaminé.
Ouch! That's hot.
Garrafa d'água.
The bottle was half filled with water. Maybe it would cool the cone down enough to touch it.
Esfriou.
Now I could see into the pipe which formed the chimney.
Agora entupi a chaminé. Presente do Lobinô. Não. Não é. A própria garrafa.
The bottle had blocked the chimney, and the hut was filling up with smoke.
Preciso me esconder. Vai, sai daí. Carvão.
Someone had once told me a piece of coal brought you luck.
Carvão de boa sorte.
Who was I to argue with irrational superstition?
Pegar a comida do cachorro.
It was a packet with a picture of a boxer dog on the front. The packet was full of dog biscuits.
O cara já voltou pra casinha. Quer comida de cachorro, cachorro?
It was the box of biscuits I'd taken from the watchman's hut. Gourmet dog. The snack your dog would bake himself. Sure, as if I'd let a stupid dog loose in the kitchen. There was a cute picture of a boxer dog wearing oven mittens.
Agora
Hey, 20.
sim.
Come and get it, boy. I felt a slight twinge of conscience as I prepared to give the dog a dunking. It soon passed. As I'd expected, the dog could swim like a dog.
Por que ficou com pena? Cachorro gosta de nadar. Ele até inventou um tipo de nado cachorrinho. De tanto que ele gosta. Essa foi boa. Transglobal. Então vamos levar de souvenir esse outro aqui.
It read Condor Transglobal. I'd come to the right place. Now all I had to do was get inside.
Só falta entrar.
The din must have drowned out the sound of my knocking.
Tem barulho ali, ninguém de dentro vai escutar as batidas. Ou não vai
Maybe there was a
identificar.
way in up there. It was a duct from a ventilation fan.
Conduto de ventilador.
The metal housing prevented me from getting to the fan.
Janela.
The window wasn't fully shut.
Uma janela não totalmente fechada. O que ele vai fazer então?
It was the creep who'd kidnapped Nico, and I had a score to settle.
Ah, o sequestrador da Nico. Tem outro aqui.
The guy was partly hidden behind a stack of crates. It was a powerful fan. That did the trick. The fan clunked and shorted out as its blades were mashed by the boat hook.
Hey, you make any more noise, I break your arms.
That bully needed to be taught a lesson.
Garzak's already mad because we didn't get the stone. You give me any trouble, I'll tell him it was all your fault.
Karzak? That must be his boss.
Então eram os dois que atacaram e ele tá ameaçando o outro porque o chefe tá bravo com eles. E daí ele bate no pequeno. O chefe bate nele e ele bate no pequeno. Karzak? Será que é aquele que estava interrogando a Nico? Agora a grande ideia é mostrar a minha cara pro cara que me atacou lá na casa do professor.
Who is it?
Is this Condor Transglobal?
Nobody here. Go away.
I'll give you 5 seconds to let me in or I'll bust down the door.
Okay. I'm coming.
He didn't sound too happy.
Melhor eu me esconder. Por que eu fui ameaçar o cara? Agora ele vai sair. Jogar um barril aqui. Pega essa aí, mané. O cara não sabe nada de docas. Vai olhar o barril em vez de olhar para cima. Yes! Ele não é do jogo de ação. Nem atira, nem bate, nada. Calminho demais pro meu gosto. Como sempre diz aquela que jamais disse isso. Pelo menos trancou tudo. Quadro de anúncios.
Among the paperwork which adorned the notice board was something which caught my eye. It was a delivery note from Condor Transglobal, and the address was Coramonte City.
Coramonte City. Isso chamou a atenção.
There was nothing else of any interest on the notice board.
Nada mais de interessante fora isso.
It was locked.
Arquivo trancado. Tudo trancado. Gaveta.
The only interesting thing I found was a small brass key.
Uma chavezinha de latão. Abre o arquivo.
The little brass key didn't fit the lock.
Não. Aqui é onde estava o cara, né? No meio das caixas. O outro cara.
All the crates were firmly sealed.
Whoa! Don't shoot!
The little guy had a blowpipe. That confirmed my suspicions about what had happened to Nico. I waited for him to shoot me, but it didn't happen. Instead, he seemed to want to tell me something.
What? What do you want?
He seemed excited, almost desperate. What did he want so bad? Hi. I'm not going to hurt you.
Guaramonte!
Is that where you're from? Coramonte City?
Guaramonte! Guaramonte!
Okay.
What have you done with my girlfriend?
Huh?
I am not leaving without her. Where is she?
He didn't appear to understand me.
Ele não entende. Quer biscoito canino?
Tell me what you've done with Nico, and I'll share these biscuits with you.
I knew it sounded lame, trying to bargain with a box of doggy snacks. Besides, how was he to know how yummy they tasted?
A tampinha da chaminé.
Do you know what this is?
Peito! Lotseka peito! Inyakot lagoino mutu!
Claro, concordo. Não vou te dar esse dardo pra você jogar em mim.
This was the dart you used to knock out my girlfriend. If she's come to any harm, I will count you personally responsible.
Lotseka peito fnor!
Not capeito finor. E essa chave aqui é da onde?
What does this key unlock?
Huh?
Ele tá algemado pelos
Hey,
pés.
you're manacled. Who did this? That big thug? I'm gonna set you free, okay?
Hey, come back here!
The little guy had gone to ground amongst the stack of crates.
O cara sumiu. Agora não vou poder mostrar a calcinha da minha noiva pra ele.
Just in time. Interrupting the beam of light kept the doors from closing and stopped anyone from using the elevator. But what now?
Não pode deixar fechar a porta do elevador porque tem o sensor ali. Célula fotoelétrica.
Holding my hand in front of the eye would stop the doors from closing, but I couldn't stay like that forever.
Se ele ficar com a mão ali, não adianta nada. Ele tem que procurar a Nicole. Empurrar esse... Mais rápido, empurra logo antes que a porta feche.
There. That would keep the doors from closing. The crate was labeled, "Danger. Live contents. Do not drop." There were small holes in the top and sides, and scratchy noises coming from inside.
São aranhas, é?
It was a large crate, with no label. The statue looked as if it was Central or South American in origin. There was an arc-shaped scratch on the floor, as if a door had been opened in the nearby wall. My fingers traced the outline of a secret door in the wall.
Porta secreta, vai.
Then I found a small round stud, which was set flush to the surrounding wooden paneling. Just as I'd hoped. A secret room. Nico!
Quem que deixou essa estátua aqui?
It was a grotesque little statue of a figure carrying a shield and a spear.
Alguma hora eu te
Will
solto.
you look at this? It was a small statue of a kneeling figure in an ornate headdress. The head was hideous, with huge staring eyes set in a decomposing face.
Hey, somebody's marketing Lobino dolls.
Alguém tá vendendo bonecos de Lobinô. Aproveitar que ela tá quietinha agora? Não, isso é machista. Solta, Nico.
There. How are you feeling?
Oh, thanks, Georges. How on earth did you find me?
I knew Oubier had been in Marseille. But never mind about me. How about you tell me exactly what's going on, starting with that Mayan stone?
I picked it up from one of Karzak's men in Paris. I was expecting a consignment of narcotics.
Drugs?
Yes. The proof I needed to expose Karzak's smuggling operation. I'd set it up to act as his courier, and once I had the proof, I planned to go straight to Inspector Mou. But instead of the dope I'd expected, they sent me that stone instead. And to find out more, I called Professor Oubier, who invited me to his mansion. At least, I thought it was Oubier.
I don't get it. If Karzak's business is drugs, why is he so desperate to get his hands on that stone?
Maybe it has some significance to the local people in Central America. It could be Karzak's means of getting them to work for him. Anyway, we've got to get out of here.
Nico, wait!
A fita adesiva?
I decided to keep the masking tape. It was bound to be of some use to me.
Isso.
It was the rope the Indian had used to tie Nico to a chair. Boy, what a souvenir.
Ah, a corda que amarrava Nico, mas essa ele nem pegou, ou não deu sinal de que ele pegou.
It was Oubier's bank statement.
A conta bancária de Oubier também não tinha aberto aqui.
It was the strip of masking tape which the big Indian had used to gag Nico.
A fita adesiva, as algemas que estavam nos pés do cara.
It was the set of manacles I'd removed from the little Indian's ankles.
Carvão.
It was my lucky piece of coal.
Carvão da sorte. Mais uma coisa boba para ele perguntar para todo mundo e carregar até o fim do jogo sem razão.
It was a flint carving of a grotesque figure with large, evil eyes. We can't use the elevator. If that thug Pablo's recovered, he'll be waiting for us.
We've got to do something. Where does that door lead to?
I'm not sure.
Mas eu não posso perguntar para ela? Posso perguntar das coisas. Então me explique essa calcinha aqui, dona moça. Não que eu seja controlador, né? Mas...
Okay. Tell me what you know about Condor.
Condor Transglobal exports Aztec and Mayan relics from Central America to Europe. But that's just a cover for the real business. Drug smuggling.
What proof do you have?
Nothing yet.
Do you know where Condor is based?
In Central America. A place called Quaramonte.
I saw that name on a docket downstairs. Tell me about this Karzak guy.
Well, I saw him for only a few minutes, but he frightens me. I got the impression that Pablo was nervous when he was around too. His eyes. They're like a wild animals. Like a tiger. That's what scared me most about him. He looked so unpredictable and dangerous.
Did you know Ubier's wife was a film star?
No, I didn't know he was married. What happened to her?
She died. In mysterious circumstances, apparently.
How mysterious.
I heard she was murdered. Possibly by Ubier himself.
A murderer, huh? André said he was something of a celebrity.
Did I hear you refer to Inspector Moo?
Yes, you remember him?
Well, of course I do. But I thought he was dead.
Oh no, he reappeared after the broken sword case had blown over. When he found out who was in with the Neo-Templars, he went into hiding. Moo knew more than was good for him.
Does he know about our involvement with the case?
If he does, he's not telling. Still, he got a sudden promotion.
Did that Indian guy mistreat you?
If you forget about the abduction, verbal threats, and bondage, no.
Well, what about the little guy?
I don't think he knows where he is or what he's doing here. The big guy, Pablo, he brought Titipoco from the jungle.
Titty what?
Titipoco. That's what I heard Pablo call the dwarf.
Titipoco, aquele que estava algemado.
Do you recognize this?
Is that the dart which knocked me out?
That's right. I kept it as a souvenir. Have you any idea who this little statue is supposed to be?
I'm not very well acquainted with Mayan deities, Georges. But whatever his name, he sure is ugly.
Look, the little guy downstairs was chained up with these.
That must have been Pablo's doing. I don't blame him, though. That little guy is dangerous.
You're still sore about that poison dart?
Of course I'm sore.
E agora?
I found these in your bag.
Oh, they were a gift.
I know. I read the note.
God knows what was going through André's mind.
I think that's quite plain enough.
Eu sei muito bem o que passava na cabeça do Lobinot, embora a senhorita não saiba. Senhorítica. Empurra essa estátua aqui para
The
derrubar
statue
a
looked
porta.
way too heavy for me to move.
Mas tem o carrinho aqui, transportador de paletes.
There wasn't enough room to move the handle.
Não tem espaço para mexer. Se eu tirar a caixa daqui, colocar para cá, tiro a caixa do bicho, depois empurro essa caixa e pego o palete, com o empurrador de palete ali. Só que se eu tirar a caixa de lá, fecha a porta. Se eu pintar com batom, não. Fita adesiva.
Hopefully, the tape would prevent those doors from closing and stop the Indian from being able to call the elevator.
Ainda bem que não era transparente a fita. Empurra a caixa agora. Empurra do bichão. Das aranhas. Rock das aranhas. Mas ele segura abraçado e tudo, coloca na boca, dá beijinho e... Então não precisava tudo isso, era só tirar a caixa e empurrar essa outra. Tirava aquela, punha no chão ou levava até o elevador. Ele só vai levantar o guindaste?
The pallet rose about 6 inches off the floor, and I said a silent prayer to whoever had discovered the power of hydraulics,
What on earth are you doing?
trying to raise the statue so I can hook it to that pulley.
Is that really going to help us?
I like to keep myself occupied in times of stress.
Viu? Evite o estresse, senhorita. Senhorítica. Dona Chica. Dona Moça. Como é que eu vou prender na polia essa estátua? Com a corda? A não ser que ele faça tudo isso e não dê certo. Ele tem que ficar segurando a corda antes de mexer no gancho da polia. Agora empurra a estátua para a porta.
It was too heavy for me to move on my own.
Não devia ter te soltado da cadeira.
Could you give me a hand to push this statue?
What for?
This, my dear, is our passport to freedom.
If you say so, dear.
Okay, push! Great teamwork.
Nice to be working with you again, Mr. Stobart.
Cabo da... O que você tem para usar no cabo? A algema vai fazer tirolesa?
Nico, I have a great idea.
Grande ideia. De volta a Paris.
Josh, where have you been?
Never mind that. Do you have the Mayan stone?
Maybe I have, but,
Don't argue, André. Give the stone to George.
well, of course. If you say so, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Andre.
George, he told me you'd been kidnapped, my dear. I'm glad to see he was mistaken.
Oh, but it was true. If it hadn't been for George, I wouldn't be here now.
It's not finished yet. Karzak's thugs will be back for that stone, you can bet. The best lead that we have is Coromonte City.
Coromonte? It's in Central America. That's where Ubier gets his artifacts.
That's all we needed to know. Come on, George.
Uns dias depois...
Quaramonte, the traveler's rear entrance to Central America. Well, that's how it was translated in the brochure. We didn't know what we were looking for, but the offices of Condor Transglobal seemed a good place to start.
Hey, it's market day. I don't see any cabs. Let's ask someone how to get to Quaramonte City.
Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for any sign of Condor Transglobal.
Como boa europeia, ela foi a caráter, né? Eu vou para a América Central, então vou pôr uma roupa parecida com a do comandante Fidel Castro. Assim como quando vai para o Havaí, coloca uma camisa florida, um colar de flor no pescoço.
Hi.
You wanna buy something?
No, not really.
I got cabbages. Buy a cabbage, senor.
I don't think so. I didn't come all this way to buy vegetables.
Listen, have you heard of Condor Transglobal?
No. Buy a cabbage. I'll give you a discount on bulk purchases.
I'm not into cabbages.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Aye, Tezcatlipoca. Put it away, senor. Tezcatlipoca brings nothing but evil.
The poor guy was so freaked, he didn't even mention his cabbages.
See ya.
Tezcatlipoca é uma entidade amaldiçoada, então. Vai nessa cobertura aqui fazer o quê?
It was an uninteresting little wooden hut with an armed goon outside it. Inside the hut was a chair and a small table.
Guarda da fronteira.
Welcome to Quaramonte.
Thanks. Can we get a cab to the capital?
This is the capital, Quaramonte City.
Navio.
When's the next ship out of here?
But, senor, don't you like our beautiful country?
Sim,
Oh, yeah. It's like a little piece of paradise right here on Earth.
Then why you wanna leave?
I'm just plain homesick. Like it says in the song.
A word of warning, senor. If you feel like bursting into song, bite your tongue.
Huh?
There are official restrictions on music in Quaramonte.
How come music is restricted in Quaramonte?
It is part of the great cultural enrichment campaign. Traditional Quaramonte music is considered unsuitable for these fast-moving times. Nuestra Senora has decreed that only one category of music is suitable.
What's that?
Easy listening.
a música tradicional do próprio local é proibida porque não é adequada.
We've had enough. We're going back to the ship.
Okay. You show me your brown card?
Huh? What brown card is that?
The official exit visa.
Ah, precisa um visto de saída, que ele não tem.
Do you have crabs?
No, only fish.
Nice fish.
Thanks.
If, by some remote chance, I ever need a fish, I'll be back.
Vai assustar
Do you
o cara.
recognize this statue?
Si, senor. It is very, very bad luck. That is Tezcatlipoca, Night Hunter.
I know, but I don't believe in luck, good or bad.
You may not now, but you will.
The guy looked scared out of his wits.
Go away.
Vamos ver o Tarancon aqui cantando alguma coisa.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Quaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Would either of you guys care for a biscuit?
A dog biscuit, senor?
Are you trying to insult us?
No, really, they're good.
We'll take your word for it.
É, o cara chega lá querendo dar comida de cachorro pros locais e depois diz que não é insulto.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, senor.
Me neither.
Pedra Maia eles não sabem. Agora o Takeshi Chipoca vai saber. Esse gusano.
What do you make of this little worm?
No good. It's dead.
Sure it's dead. You think I'd carry it around in my pocket if it wasn't? Take a look at the design on this label.
I have seen that before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
Tinha barco com esse sinal.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We play to the tourists.
Well, when the Condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
Do you guys know anything about a total eclipse?
What is it?
It's like when the sun is hidden by the moon.
He's crazy.
My cousin Alfredo swears he saw it happen once. But that was after he stupidly consumed a cocktail of peyote and antibiotics.
É, teve a maior alucinação e pensou que viu um eclipse.
Have you seen anything like...
Aye, The hungry chief.
Why are you carrying that thing around with you, senor? Don't you know who it is?
Sure, it's Tezcatlipoca. But it's only a little carving.
It brings death, senor. Death and destruction.
Morte e destruição. Ó, quem tá aqui. Será que é ela?
George Stobart, well, of all the...
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an Army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged. Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Não falo?
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Ah, ela não faz selfie. O marido tem que ir junto para tirar a foto dela.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understood it.
Parece que ele trabalha para a CIA de verdade. Depois que a psicóloga tirou essa mania da cabeça dele, a Pearl descobriu que ele trabalhava mesmo lá.
What brings you to Quaramonte, Pearl?
What takes me just about anywheres. The market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the great design, George.
Está cumprindo seu papel na grande economia. Como em todo casal. É justo. Um ganha e o outro gasta. Como sempre diz aquela que jamais disse isso.
What do you make of this stone, Pearl?
Oh, that's pretty. What's that thing supposed to be, a rabbit?
I believe it's a coyote.
Well, it sure is cute.
I was surprised she didn't ask me where she could buy one. What does this mean to you, Pearl?
What cute little feathers. Why, if you had two of those, they'd sure make nice earrings.
This isn't intended for frivolous personal adornment, Pearl. It's a dart, tipped with a fast-acting, muscle-numbing poison.
Pardon me, I stand corrected, honey.
Sometimes I got the feeling that communication with Pearl was like sending signals out into space. Maybe, if you waited long enough, you'd get an intelligent answer back. But it was a long shot. Look at this, Pearl. A tequila worm.
Don't you bring that thing anywheres near me, honey. I swear I'll scream like a hog on a hot plate.
Mantenha esse bicho longe.
Take a look at this news cutting, Pearl.
You'll have to read it to me, George. I left my specs in a gay bar in Santa Barbara.
Well, it's about an eclipse of the sun, which is due to occur in a few weeks' time.
You'd think the government would warn us about these kind of things.
It's not dangerous or anything. Apparently, the best place to view the eclipse is right here in Quaramonte.
Oh, my.
She didn't appear to be the slightest bit interested. What do you make of this statue, Pearl?
Hoo-wee, that's a spitting image of Dwayne's brother Sheridan. A little less body hair, maybe, but it's him all right.
Catch you later, Pearl.
Parece o irmão do Dwayne. A estátua. Nunca se sabe. Aliás, se sabe sim. Dwayne!
It was Pearl's husband, Dwayne. Hey, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you again.
Do I know you, son?
George Stobart, remember? In Syria? I sold you a statue.
I remember that. Pearl was mighty vexed when the paint came off.
Look, I'm sorry. I'll give you back the $50.
No, you suckered me fair and square.
Me enganou honestamente, é.
Are you still working for... you know who?
You know I can't talk about my work, George. That's between me and Uncle Sam.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Caramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Why did you bring a huge truck like that?
George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
É, o caminhão do Dick, cheio de excremento explosivo, vai pôr o melhor amigo para dirigir e explodir junto.
Would you like a biscuit, Dwayne?
Oh no, those gourmet dog snacks bring me out in a rash.
You've tried them?
They were on special offer. Pearl bought a whole crate. When I asked her if she was thinking of keeping a dog too, she just laughed.
Ela comprou o caixote inteiro. Da outra vez traga pacote, diria a Pearl.
Would you like to borrow my lucky piece of coal, Dwayne?
What's so lucky about it?
Well, we made it to Quaramonte in one piece.
When you've been here a few days, you won't look on that as luck.
What do you think of these panties, Dwayne?
Lord, hot stuff, George. You buy those for your girl?
No, a guy we knew in Paris bought them for her.
Oh, you're a threesome then. Why are you looking at me like that, George?
Forget it.
Não gostou da imagem que veio à mente dele quando perguntou se era trio romântico.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
Sure I do. You have to get up pretty early to catch Dwayne with his pants down.
What? You beat me to it?
Condor Transglobal is all wound up. Seems like my investigations scared them off.
Então é isso. Hoje vamos parar por aqui. O Exol Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, a paciência, as dicas, a torcida, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.